It was Monday. Me and Logan were sitting in David's living room. The room was large with blue walls, simple furniture, and movie posters on his wall like a museum. Dave walked into the living room with a box full of old files with our town's names on it. After you guys left it, I was doing some research on the book when my grandfather came to visit me one day. He noticed what I was researching. "Davey, I need you to come to the kitchen with me. There's something I need to tell you about this place," the grandfather said. Dave patiently sat in the kitchen while his grandpa talked. The original Axe family was murdered by the people in town who are claiming to be them. Catherine Skye and her family were originally royalty, but due to the illegal embezzlement of money, crime etc., which led to them being dethroned by a neighboring country with the help of their own people. When the Skye family came to our town, they lived in poverty, in an old house in the forests where people didn't venture into. As 10 years passed, the Skye family grew irritated, angered, and the worst of all, power-hungry. One day Catherine Skye was wandering the streets bullying some of the townspeople when she noticed the maid of the Axe family was looking ill. Catherine Skye smirked to herself hiding behind a wall, then walked up to the woman giving her a fake name, saying that she was a nurse in training, and she could help the maid with her illness. 2 months had passed since Catherine helped the maid and she ended up dead. There was a new opening position to work for the town's founders. Catherine got the job with the information she got from the maid she killed. Catherine put on an act of kindness and generosity around the people in the house, but when no one was looking she would snoop and try to see if she could get any information to blackmail them. But instead, she plotted revenge with Victoria Snowball, the ex-fiancée of the firstborn son of the Axe family. After a month of gathering objects for the ritual to perform witchcraft, Catherine had to do one last thing: sell her soul to the demonic creature and steal other people's spiritual goodwill or karma so that each generation doesn't suffer the negative universal karma that's coming for them. On a full moon night, while the Axe family were celebrating their firstborn son's marriage to his new fiancée, Victoria and Catherine were performing the ritual. Catherine's skin became ghostly pale with her bright red hair turning black, extreme pain traveling throughout her body as she transformed into a spirit that can never leave the earth. While the Axe family were distracted, shadows with horns blocked all the exits in their house and caused a house fire that no one could escape. When the ritual was finished, everyone in town except our family forgot about the real Axe family, and the Skye family became the Axe family. Me and Logan were silent. We didn't know what to think or say. "By the looks on your faces, you guys have more questions," Dave said. We nodded our heads listening to what Dave had to say. After my grandfather left my house, I went to my attic to get rid of some stuff. When I found these boxes of documents about the town that weren't online, I brought the documents to my room and looked through them. I made a connection with one of my ancestors and a family friend who worked for the original Axe family. The family friend suspected something wasn't right. His friend the maid was getting ill whenever Grace took care of her. So after Grace took his friend's place, he pretended to get along and be ignorant around Grace. He spied on her and documented everything with the help of my ancestor. My ancestor was doing a background check on the Skye family in the woods. When they both found out about the truth about Grace, they had to hurry and make a plan to expose them. The family friend tried to intervene and stop the fire from killing the Axe family, but tragically they died in the fire with them, while my ancestor was trying to prevent Victoria and Grace from casting their spell. They couldn't stop the spell from happening, but they stole an object that would make it permanent. So when me and Logan saw the Axe twins talking in the woods with Marcus, it was about their witchcraft ritual, I said. "You're correct," Dave said. "How do we stop them? We're not exactly witchcraft experts," Logan said. "Made a plan, but I need your help in order for it to work," Dave said. Me and Logan looked at each other for a moment. I felt unsure and was second-guessing myself, but Logan had a look of determination on his face. There was no way Logan was going to change his mind on ending the Axe twins' legacy. I agreed, knowing that if I didn't, Logan would get hurt. I can't live with the idea. "We're in," I said. "That's great, so here's the plan," Dave said. After an hour of explaining the plan, we left and went to our hangout place in the forest. "Logan, I need to know what's the real reason why you're doing this," I said. "Honestly, I'm never like the Axe family, they always seemed off." It was a gut feeling that I could never really explain. I thought it was unfair that they didn't have to work hard to get what they want and everyone else around them had to suffer. And now that I know the truth, I want to make things right, not just for myself but make sure that other people don't because of them," Logan said. "And?" I said while throwing acorns at him. "Fine, I also want to get even with Tyler. I want to make him go through the same emotional torture. He put me through. Happy now," Logan said. "Yes, just promise me you won't get carried away with your anger," I said. "You act as if I have no control over my emotions," Logan said. "Should I bring up a few memories?" I said, with an evil smirk. "No, and we should get prepared for the plan," Logan said. We followed the Axe twins around town and went to Dave's place, putting the puzzle pieces together. 5 of our classmates would be gathering at a factory that's been closed for years and most of the forest has claimed it. The ritual will be held in a room that only the Axe family knows about. Dave's going to be at the factory before anyone else gets there and set up his trap, while me and Logan follow the group to the factory. We left Dave's place and went to get ice cream. We're talking about random stuff when we saw Marcus. He was hanging out with a group of classmates that were going to be sacrificed. Marcus handed the group of classmates a strange bracelet. Me and Logan had a look of interest on our face. "We should follow him for the day," I said. "We need to be careful. Something tells me this guy's a lot more cautious than the Axe twins." Logan said. I was going to question Logan, but when I turned my head towards him, he had a serious look on his face. We followed Marcus around carefully all day. He didn't do anything out of the ordinary, hang out with his classmates, went around town getting some stuff, and eventually went home. We were hiding near Marcus's property, but after 3 hours of waiting for something to happen, it was starting to get late and I was starting to doze off in our hiding spot. "Hey Logan, I think we should get going. We know Marcus is helping them, but I don't think we're gonna get any information," I said. "If we leave now we won't get any information," Logan said in a frustrated tone of voice. "I know you want to stop the Axe twins, but you can't do that when you're sleep deprived," I said. "I just don't want to stop the Axe twins, but I want to make Tyler feel the way he made me feel when he humiliated me repeatedly," Logan said in an angry, stern voice. I became worried for Logan. He normally can separate his emotions from his common sense. But before I could say anything we heard Marcus walking into his backyard where the woods were. Me and Logan followed him carefully, trying not to make any loud noises. We saw Marcus stopping in front of a rock covered with plants and organ flowers on the vines. A light was shining in the center of the flowers. Marcus loudly chanted a spell, then a bright portal appeared, and he walked through it. We looked at each other with a look of, "Is this real?" When our heads looked back at the portal, it was the size of a small box. We ran to the portal before it disappeared, and I was able to put my hand through the portal before it closed. A warm sensation made its way through my fingers to my arm. My veins were glowing purple. I felt scared but couldn't move because the warm feeling kept my body frozen like a stone statue until Logan pulled my arm from the portal. We hit the ground and my head felt dizzy as I tried to comprehend what was happening to me. Nick, are you all right?" Logan said. I looked at Logan with confusion on my face. "I think so, my arm does hurt though," I said. Logan felt guilty that he put his friend in danger because he let his emotions take over his judgment. "I'm sorry Nick, I shouldn't have let this happen," Logan said. "I'll forgive you for being stupid, but you owe me one," I said. We walked home and went to bed. "I'm impressed Marcus, you've managed to be more successful than my grandchildren," Catherine said. "That's because I know how to use power and information correctly, unlike Zoe and Tyler, who had limited brain cells," Marcus said with a cocky voice. "It's a shame that the family bloodline lacks the genetics in that area, but does make smart decisions when it comes to manipulating others," Catherine said. "I got the stuff for the ritual, and I also think I found the missing piece so that you don't have to do this every 3 years, Marcus said. "Good, now get it before it's too late," Catherine said in a demanding tone. Marcus nods his head and goes to find it. As he is walking in the woods, he finds an old, abandoned house. Marcus was looking through the old house when a painting fell on the floor. He turned around and saw an old security safe inside of a wall. He smirked with an evil grin. Marcus walked up to the security safe, put his left hand on it, then chanted a spell quietly, and the safe opened. Inside was dusty with a dirty circular crystal ball the size of a hand. Marcus grabbed an object from his jacket. He pointed it at the crystal ball. Then it glowed a bright yellow with a pink cloud moving inside of it. He put it into his coat pocket, closed the safe, and walked away. A few weeks passed by as graduation was 2 days away. Me, Logan, and Dave have been finalizing the plan for the Axe Twins. Me and Dave discovered the missing piece the Axe Twins couldn't find. It's a powerful crystal that can make a spell permanent. We all went to the hangout spot, but when we got there the place didn't look like itself. Someone had been inside looking for something. I had a bad feeling and the others had a look of worry on their faces. Okay, we're all thinking the same thing, but we must look for the crystal. It might still be here, Dave said, trying to be encouraging and hopeful. 1 hour passed and none of us found it. Me and Logan left our hangout place in the woods while Dave stayed behind. It was graduation day and everyone was feeling excited except me and Logan. Even though we went over the plan with Dave, my nerves still stuck with me. There was a knock at the door. It was my mother, smiling with pride, looking at me. "How's my little boy doing?" Nick's mom said. "Mom," Nick said in embarrassment. Nick's mom laughed at him. "I just came to give you an early present from me and your father," Nick's mom said, smiling. I opened the gift. It was my grandfather's necklace with a silver chain and the charm of an angel wing sword. A mixed feeling of happiness and sadness came over me. This was my grandfather's most prized possessions. He made this by hand. Jewelry making was his job until the arthritis was too much pain in his hands. Joy was always on his face when he crafted things himself. My grandfather trained me in jewelry making and it was our favorite bonding activity to do together. A tear rolled down my cheek as I hugged my mom. "Your grandfather wanted you to have the necklace and I wanted to make sure that you had a piece of home while you're at university," Nick's mom said. "Thanks, Mom, I just wish he was here today," I said. "Your grandfather is always with you wherever life takes you." Nick's mom hugged him tighter with care. Nick's mom left the room waiting for him to get ready and drive to his high school graduation. I looked at myself in the mirror, not knowing how the fight with the Axe Twins will go or even if our plan will work. But not trying will haunt me even more. I got to the school and found Logan failing at flirting with a girl. As the girl walked away, I snuck up behind him. "You're going to impress the college girls," I said in a high-pitched girly voice, trying not to laugh. "I'll remember this moment when you get a girlfriend and tell her about all the times you didn't embarrass yourself," Logan said with an evil smile on his face. "I'm looking forward to that day," I said as we walked to our seats before the graduation started. It's 7 p.m., me and Logan are wearing disguises at the Axe Twins party at their house. We were keeping a close eye on the group of people leaving with the Axe Twins soon. At 8:45 p.m. the group of people got into their cars. Logan bumped into one of the people heading towards their car and put a GPS tracking device on them. After 20 minutes at the house party, we got on our bikes and got to the spot. An hour has passed of seeing buildings, woods, and the dark sky. We put our bikes beside 2 large trees where the leaves are overgrown just enough to camouflage the bikes. We walked on an abandoned trail for 30 minutes, then saw an old rundown factory from the 1800s. Walking inside the building, it was surprisingly untouched, with no attempts of graffiti, broken windows, and etc. The only thing that symbolizes abandonment is the cobwebs and dust. It felt uncomfortable and uneasy. "We need to look for a hidden entrance," Dave said. Me and Logan nodded our heads and split up. Dave checked the power tool area, Logan checked the food area, and I checked the room with the chipped paint on the front door. While looking for a hint to an hidden entrance, me and Dave didn't find anything, but Logan did. We walked into the food area to find Logan staring into a hole in the wall. "That looked like it was built for a cult." "How did you find the entrance?" Dave said with curiosity. "I was looking and moving stuff around the room until I accidentally knocked something over and a wall randomly started to move. Then I found the hole in the wall," Logan said. "I always knew that your bad eyesight would come in handy," I said. Me and Dave laughed while Logan tried to defend himself. We all walked down the concrete stairs. There was green fire on the side of the walls giving us light. By time we reached the bottom of the basement we heard talking. "Did you give them enough of the drink?" Zoe said. "For the 100th time yes, and they won't wake up," Tyler Rack said in an annoying voice. "We can't disappoint Catherine and have the least bright person in the family screw it up for the rest of us. So, I have to make sure," Zoe said in a dominant tone. Before Tyler could speak, Marcus interrupted. "She's right, all you're good for is being a pawn or sport, so I won't complain too much," Marcus said. Tyler was angry and about to yell when a loud voice was heard. "It's time to start the ritual now," Catherine yelled loudly. As the Axe twins and Marcus ran to their spots, Dave, Logan, and me ran to a hiding spot waiting for the signal from Dave. Marcus standing in the middle of the triangle while the Axe twins stood at the two other end of the triangle. Catherine appeared out of thin air in her ghostly form. Catherine started chanting a spell, then the bodies started to float in the air, forming a circle with each one of them having a different colored glow to them. Marcus and the Axe twins stretched their arms out in the air holding a crystal ball that transferred the light from the people into the crystal ball. Catherine had a mysterious black mist moving around like a snake around her body, then slowly makes its way to the people floating in the air, transferring it to them. Dave signaled me and Logan from our hiding spot. We ran to the Axe twins, tackling them to the ground. I had a good hold on Zoe. Logan was having some trouble with Tyler. He lost a good grip on him and ended up in a fistfight. Dave was standing across from the circle from Catherine. "You're going to pay for interrupting the ritual. I'll put you 12 feet underground," Catherine said with anger. Catherine quickly flows into Dave's direction as if a snake was attacking a prey. Just as Catherine was going to attack Dave, he pulled out a mirror made out of different crystals. When the mirror faced Catherine, it started to glow in the center with bright colors, making a portal. While casting a spell of his own, Catherine tried to grab the mirror, but when she did, a burning and poked with needles sensation moved through all over her body. Catherine fell to the ground in pain. "Tyler, Zoe, and Marcus, do something," Catherine said in agony, feeling powerless. Zoe managed to put up a good fight until I noticed plant vines moving around looking for something to grab. As she was throwing a punch in my direction, I moved and tripped her. Zoe got tangled into the magic vines. "You're a dead man, Nick," Zoe said with venom in her voice. I ran over to Dave. Catherine was almost weathering away like a piece of paper that's on fire. "You need to stop Marcus, he's almost completed the ritual. Logan will join you shortly. He's almost done with Tyler," Dave said. "It's almost over," Marcus said. Looking at the glowing crystal ball in his hand, an evil smile appeared on his face. I tried to hit him with a broken metal pole, but I stopped in mid-action. Fear came over me until Marcus looked me in the eyes. "Did you really think you could sneak up behind me? How stupid do you think I am? I've been watching you and Logan for a while at your little hangout spot in the woods. I've got to say I was impressed you guys weren't stupid as you looked. But you're not as clever as me," Marcus said before Logan hit him with a large wrench until he wasn't moving anymore. "I was wrong. Your ability to be nosy came in handy after all," I said to Logan. "I'll remember that when we end up roommates in college," Logan said as we laughed. We both got jumpy. When we heard a scream, we ran to Dave. He looked exhausted while there was a pile of ashes on the ground. "I never want to see that creepy ghost ever again." "That woman put up a fight," Dave said as he got up from the ground. Me and Dave performed a reverse spell for the victims. Logan told an exaggerated story that somehow, they all bought. As everyone was leaving, the ground started to shake and glow. I turned my head around to the right and saw Marcus sending a black and purple light into Zoe while her eyes were glowing bright green. She broke through the vines and turned her head to look at the group of people leaving. "Where do you think you're going? I'm not finished with any of you," in a demonic voice that wasn't hers. The ground started to shake, and bright light emerged from the cracks on the ground. Purple hot liquid started to work its way to the surface. We all froze in fear when we saw dinosaur-looking creatures from the purple hot liquid. "We need to get out of here now," someone yelled. It snapped everyone out of their trance, then we all started running towards the exit. Some of the creatures grabbed the people in the group, dragging them into the hot liquid or walls. As I was about to reach the exit, I heard Logan screaming. I turned around and saw Logan trying to pull Dave away from the hot purple liquid. I ran over to them, as me and Logan were pulling on Dave. The purple liquid was covering his body, until a bright light started to form on my hands, to Dave's body like a vine wrapping itself around him. Then Dave escaped the purple hot liquid as it burst into ashes. We helped him off the ground and ran to the exit before the ceiling collapsed, trapping him inside. We found a spot to hide in the forest, and other survivors from the group that made it out, and managed to get to their cars. As the old factory was being swallowed by the purple hot liquid in the underground cave, me and Dave were looking at the disaster in front of us while Logan had his head turned to the right and saw Marcus leaving in a van with people. 2 weeks later, almost everything went back to normal. The group of survivors thought somebody slipped something into their drinks. Dave went to the hospital for a week and did some more research on the Axe family. Me and Logan got ready to go to college. On the day me and Logan were leaving our small town to a large and loud city, we spent time with Dave. I was going to miss seeing him every day, especially Logan. He discovered that some of the magic got transferred to me when I touched the portal. This led Logan to thinking of superhero name for me. He's definitely gonna write a comic book about me, I thought. It was 9 p.m. Me and Logan went into the car my mom got me. As we drove past her welcoming sign to our town, I can't help but wonder, where did Marcus go? And is it really over for the Axe twins' curse? Logan was blasting music. I closed my eyes for a nap as a van passed us with tinted windows.